then further away.
All right.
Enjoy.
Thank you all for being here. First of all, it's a real pleasure to see you guys for the first time actually in I don't know how long, maybe 6 months since the start of this project. So I'm very grateful to see you guys, and I would like to present my afstuderen project voor de condition good use case for Spark Living Lab. I will be taking 10 minutes of your time. This is the following table of content. We have the introduction, background, central question, analysis, the solution and findings, advice, and future research, and the questions will follow afterwards. Then a short introduction, of course, because I'm not from the Windesheim University. I'm a graduate student from the Hogeschool Rotterdam. My name is Hubert Vadax. I'm following the major logistic management, and I'm 22 years old in Rotterdam, and I live in Rotterdam. How I came into contact with Spark Living Lab was through Miss Clara Paardekoper. She introduced me to Maxime, and everything followed. My main occupation was to conduct research basically for the conditions good use case, as well as having a leading role for the research team of logistic engineers, Halil, Bilge, and Caroline. It was a real pleasure. I will be moving on to the background. The background is well, I'll be formulating the problem, and it will be about supply chain of LabWestern, DLG, and Lineage. It's a cold chain, basically. And their cold chain is in traditional supply chain. The main problem is regards to the fact that the products sometimes don't arrive at the right temperature, or hypothetically speaking, then, which has effects on the costs. It will create more. You have to put more effort in order to get the products cold again, and yeah, it's less efficient, of course. So LabWestern initially approached Spark Living Lab to ask what could the application of blockchain technology mean for the situation. Well, to shortly introduce, like the students did before, blockchain is an online distributed ledger, basically, and it has a lot of possibilities for application in your supply chain, of course. So that's what I would research. Then from this problem, I revised the central question and goal, and that's regarding how the application of blockchain technology could improve the cold chain of LabWestern. And then in terms of the four different aspects, there will be transparency, traceability, security, and sustainability as well. And this will all be transformed into a universal format for small to medium-sized enterprises. Then I also have on the right-hand side some sub-questions that will stimulate this for this common goal. Then for the first time, me and Maxime went to LabWestern and Lineage. Then we formalized the basic form of LabWestern and DLG and Lineage. The first thing that we basically knew was that there was some issues with the reliability and validity of the temperature of the data, and also a lack of transparency and some inefficiencies. From these things that we noticed, we actually revised some bottlenecks, and from these bottlenecks, certain risks were also attached to it, with the reasoning therefore as well. So the thing that I did in a few months was researching what blockchain could mean. So, for example, the advantages, the disadvantages, the technicalities of smart contracts and zero-knowledge proof, and what this could basically mean for this situation. Well, this is basically, the situation is also basically based on the future perspective, because as it stands now, if I go a slide back, there isn't much opportunity for the product to get warmer, except for the area where loading is happening, because the ambient temperature does affect the products, because it's an ambient room basically. But they will revise this in November, I think, and the products will go directly from the cold storage into the truck, so that there won't be opportunity for products to get warmer, basically. So therefore, it's an hypothetical scenario. These risks also have been made from a future perspective. The associated risks from the previous slide have been put in a risk assessment chart. And I also made a potential new situation basically for how these risks can be mitigated when the application of blockchain has been made happen. Then these solutions and findings can also be applied for different branches, such as the pharmaceutical branch, the florist and floriculture branch, the fruit and vegetable branch. For these branches, blockchain could also be applied in the same scenario as for LabWestern because they all have something similar, and that's called the cold chain, basically. However, there are also some risks when you implement blockchain. These are, for example, the government regulations. Blockchain in the Netherlands can mean a different blockchain for outside of the Netherlands, such as in Europe or somewhere else. Then you have bootstrapping as well, because and that entails basically what you actually transport activities that you currently do to blockchain. So how do you fix that? Basically, how do you fix that? And you also have behavioral change. Customers and stakeholders need to get adjusted in order to use blockchain efficiently. So therefore, I also, with the help of 4 different questions, revised how SMEs when SMEs should be able to apply blockchain technology. Also, for the solution and findings, I've made for SMEs a blockchain platform project, which entails how many years / months it will take for a general company in order to implement blockchain successfully. I also made a cost structure with the rule of thumb of different aspects such as maintenance, quality assurance, counseling, designing, and development. And I also developed the return on investment period to visualize how fast companies can actually get their money back when having applied blockchain technology. Then the advice and future research. I've also made a roadmap for implementation. The logical thing would be to make a proof of concept, of course, and that will be with the following steps of define a minimum value ecosystem, the develop functional and technical architecture, and select the different blockchain stacks. This includes the internet layer, the blockchain layer, and the application layer, of course. And then with a lot of building and testing, this can be done successfully. For LabWestern itself, I would advise to digitalize a lot of current activities. At the moment, a lot of things are done manually, such as processing the temperature of the data, and basically everything is written down on a sheet of paper. I would also advise for future research on the possibility of IoT devices and research on blockchain applicability for other branches. This was my presentation. Thank you for listening. Are there any questions?
Thank you very much. Super. Are there any questions before you hand over your microphone? None online, none offline either. Thank you for your time. Thank you for